Have you ever wondered what university students aren't telling you about their experience? Well, today I'm going to unpack that and discover any hidden truths that you may not be aware of. Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin and I am in my final year of doing a business science degree at the University of Cape Town. And I wish some of these truths I'd known before I'd started university 5 years ago. So I'll be breaking those down for you, going into lots of different areas of university life. Let's get into the video. I think the first thing I wish I'd known when I started university was that failing a class is honestly not the end of the world. I'll be honest with you, I have failed 1 or 2 classes, and I realized after I'd done it that it did not mean that I was a failure as a person. It just meant that something had gone wrong the first time. I think one thing you don't realize is that more people fail a class than not, and we're just too scared to speak about it, so we think that we're the only one that is failing a class or struggling, when in actual fact there's more people out there failing classes than you think. My experience, failing a class doesn't mean that you will never pass it, and your bounce back ability can be amazing. There are so many lessons that you can learn from failing a class the first time that make you really succeed the second time. Secondly, I think people brush over this, but burnout is a real thing. I don't know about you, but I feel like there's this pressure to always feel like you've got your life together, having every aspect of your life balanced. And I just think that, in my opinion, it is so unrealistic to think that you are going to be able to balance academic life, social life, sporting life, and just have everything thriving at the same time. Sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves, and sometimes it's external pressure to be able to be keeping up with coursework, keeping up with social life, and staying active in terms of exercise. It can be a real struggle. There are definitely going to be times in life when certain aspects of your life are going to be thriving and certain aspects may be falling short a little bit, and that doesn't mean that you need to put extra pressure on yourself to have life put together all the time. For example, during exam season, your university life is going to be thriving so much because you're going to be studying hard, you're probably going to be in the library for long hours, working hard, and you may not be seeing friends as much. During those seasons, you need to focus on university life. And I'm not saying that you should neglect seeing your friends, because you should definitely make time for friends and definitely make time for exercise. But during those seasons, it's understandable that you're going to be spending most of your time studying. Burnout definitely is a real thing. But I think there are ways to counteract that burnout by making sure you are doing things that you enjoy and things that fill up your cup in life. For me, that is playing tennis, that is going for a run, that is watching a movie with my friend, that is spending time with my brother. I definitely know that is easier said than done, so I'm not saying that it happens in the snap of a finger, but I think that with time and with help possibly, that you are able to get through those periods. Do you ever feel like you just don't belong somewhere, or you're not smart enough to be in a certain place? I've definitely had that imposter syndrome when it comes to university. But in school, in my case, I was getting A's and B's for most of my courses, most of my subjects, and I felt like that was the expectation going into university. But what I had to realize very quickly was that in university, obviously the coursework is a lot harder and you are more on your own. You don't have that teachers like running behind you, making sure that you're handing things in. I think one thing I had to realize was that getting A's and B's was not going to be the goal when it came to university. Obviously, it's amazing if you're able to do that. But in my case, I just had to make sure that I was getting all my work done, that I was at least passing university. And for 3 years of my life, that was the case. I was doing the wrong course. It took me a year or so to realize that I would not be getting the same marks in university that I was getting in high school, that the coursework was so different, that the coursework was harder, and that being independent was also something that I had to focus on. I think what I'm trying to say is that imposter syndrome is something that you might experience, and I feel like that is okay, but just to not let the external world get you down, because I think as humans we put enough pressure on ourselves that we don't need everyone else adding extra pressure. Something that definitely doesn't get spoken enough about is that it's okay to realize a few years into your university experience that you're just doing the wrong degree. And if you're fortunate enough to be able to switch over degrees, then that's okay. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get a degree. As long as you get the degree in the end, I feel like that is the most important thing. In my case, I was studying a business science in finance degree for 3 years of my life, and after the third year, after some doors were closed, I realized that I was not meant to be doing this business science and finance degree. And even if I got into my honors year for that degree, that I would have struggled through it. I would have hated that year of my life. And it was actually a better decision for me to change over to business science and marketing degree, where life is so much better. When I changed over last year, so I'm now in my 5th year, so I'm on my 2nd year marketing. It is true that you're not going to enjoy every single aspect of your university degree. There's definitely going to be subjects that you are really struggling to get through because you're just not passionate about them. But for your whole degree to be something that you're not passionate about and to be just pushing along and really hurting your mental health, that is not the answer. And I also had to learn that. I think people need to realize that the stigma around switching your courses or not having it together should just be left in yesterday. Have you ever missed home when you really feel like you should be showing off this independent life that you've been giving? Well, I definitely experienced that in first year, also in a few other patches of my university life. Homesickness is something that I don't wish upon anyone. The amount of crying I did in first year because of not feeling like I should be where I am, and really missing home while trying to be an independent person. It is a crazy feeling that I can't describe to anyone. Most people, we spend 18 years at home with our families in a safe and comfortable environment, and then all of a sudden at 18 we have to make this huge decision about what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. That is crazy. Like, how are we supposed to have our lives figured out at 18 years old and not feel homesickness? So I feel like it's understandable that when you move away from home at 18 years old to start this new chapter of your life, possibly in a new place, a new province, a new country, away from your family, that you're going to feel this homesickness and wanting to be back in the safe and comfortable environment that you were in for so many years of your life. I feel like homesickness and feelings of doubt are two things that really do come together. It teaches you so much about yourself and about what you want in life. For my case, I realized I did not want to be living on my own. Following on from homesickness is this feeling of being lonely. Making friends with people can be so hard when you start this new chapter of your life at university in this new place that you have never experienced before. I definitely felt that experience of feeling lonely and just really struggling to make friends with people at university. It's this crazy thing because you are surrounded by so many people in your courses, in your classes at university, but just trying to make friends, it feels impossible. When I started my finance degree, I was in classes of like 800 to 1,000 people, but I think I made like 1 or 2 friends. I feel like specifically in courses where there are so many people, like 800 to 1,000 people, who are trying to get a certain number of jobs in the end, I think this competitiveness really does show itself. In the marketing faculty, it is so much smaller. My classes are like 20 to 30 people, and that's why we're all fighting for each other to succeed. In these super competitive environments, it can be so challenging to make friends with people who you actually want to get to know and are not always speaking about university, and you feel like you're not fighting against all the time. When I came to Cape Town, I felt like a bit of an outsider. Felt like everyone else had their friendship groups, and in the beginning they were so friendly. They wanted me to join their friendship group and they were so welcoming. Reminder that I was I started university when COVID was still a thing, so I did not go on campus as much as I would wished I had. But a couple of weeks into this very friendliness, everyone went back into their clickiness, and I just really struggled to make friends. These people that were so welcoming in the beginning turned away from me and were no longer wanting me to join their friendship group, and it was so lonely, and I think I made more friends with the walls in my room than I made with actual people. Sounds kind of sad, but that was the absolute truth. I, as humans, are we not always wanting the person next to us to also have an incredible life, to enjoy life, to be happy, and to succeed? I'm getting to that point in life where I am nearly finished studying my degree, and although I have one more degree to do after this, I feel like there's this anxiety attached to not knowing what's going to happen after graduation. Am I going to get a job? Am I going to be doing what I want to do? Am I going to be happy? I think there is so much anxiety attached to this post-university uncertainty. For a lot of people, I know there's this fear of not getting a job once you have graduated, and worrying that the degree that you've worked so hard to get won't guarantee you employment in the field that you've studied so hard in. And I think this can be very challenging, and I myself try and just focus on one goal at a time. So for me right now, it's let's just graduate with the first degree, then we get into the second degree, graduate with the second degree, and then figure out what life has to hold for us after that. So that is all the university secrets that I want to share with you today. I might make a part 2, so look out for that on my channel in the future. If you are a student or you are a past student, any things that you feel university students are too afraid to talk about, and let's talk about it in the comments below. I'd love to get your little take on what you think university students are too afraid to talk about. And with that coming to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a nice big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit the notification bell and subscribe to my channel. I would love to chat with you in the comments, so please leave me a little comment. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!